Hi all. I used to have a Kobo that died and was looking for a new e-reader, but then I found my wife's old Gen 3 Kindle keyboard and figured it's good enough. So I called Amazon support, tried to get it up and running again, and to paraphrase, they told me it's a paperweight. Well, what they actually said was, I can still transfer books to it via the USB cable, but I can't connect to their store anymore, and I can't download books I've purchased since they stopped allowing that a few years ago, so essentially, it's a paperweight. So instead, I'm going to jailbreak it and connect it to my personal ebook library so I don't have to deal with Amazon anymore. I actually had to do this process twice, and I'll explain why in a bit, but let's start with the first failed approach. If you're trying to do this yourself, odds are you're going to end up on the Kindle modding wiki. It's a great site, super clean, and honestly fantastic resource for newer Kindles. I tried following their walkthrough step by step, but ended up running into this issue where the Kindle Unified Application Launcher just wouldn't load. And that's mainly because I needed to update some developer certificates, but it's not mentioned on the site anywhere, so I just had to kind of figure it out. Luckily, after wasting a lot more time than I want to admit, I eventually gave up and found the answers elsewhere. So that's when I stumbled on this Reddit post. Every link I'm showing today is in the video description, so if you need anything, just check there. The first few steps for this are identical to the one from the Kindle modding wiki. So basically you want to verify your serial number and your firmware version so you know which model you have, and then go update to the latest firmware if you haven't already. Luckily, mine's already fully updated, and I know it's a Kindle K3W because it has Wi-Fi but no 3G, and it has a keyboard. With that covered, I had to download and extract the appropriate jailbreak file, in this case the one that had K3W and install in the name. Then I connect the Kindle to my computer via USB, and transfer over the bin file. Once it's done, I'll eject the Kindle and on the device, go into Settings, then the menu on the Settings page, select Update Kindle, and the Kindle should update and restart like shown. Next, I'm going to install Mobile Read Kindle Kit, which is a prerequisite for the app loader I want to use. Note that I've turned off Wi-Fi on my device during the install since it seems like leaving it on could potentially cause issues, although I don't think so now that it's unsupported. Either way, I'll download the Kindle MKK bundle as shown, extract it, connect my Kindle to the computer again, and then copy the K3W bin file over to it. Now I go through the same update process as before, and MKK should be installed. However, here's where I need to make a change from the Kindle modding wiki guide. I need to get the updated dev keys for MKK, so I'll grab that from this link, extract the bin file, copy it to the Kindle, eject it, and update it once again. Now I shouldn't need to eject and update again from this point on. Okay, so next up I'm going to install the Kindle Unified Application Launcher, or KUAL. And that's really easy. You just copy over the AZW2 file to the documents folder on my Kindle. In my case, I'm using the version 1.0 because it's a legacy Kindle. With KUAL, I can now use it to launch other apps. In this case, I want to add KOReader. So I'll grab the version for legacy Kindles off the GitHub as shown, extract it, and copy the contents over to the root of the Kindle. With that, I should now be able to launch KOReader and read any books in a bunch of different formats, like epub, mobi, etc., instead of whatever that Amazon proprietary format is. So what about the books themselves? Well, I'm using Calibre, which, if you're like me, you probably pronounced it Calibre or Calibre, but no, apparently, according to their website, it's Calibre. That aside, I have it running on my home server with a decent-sized library of books I've purchased from various sources and, just kind of consolidated in one place, especially because I used to have a Kobo. So I tried to connect it directly, but I think I've got some networking rules that cause the server not to be found within my network. So in a vast display of laziness, I decided to just turn on the OPDS server in Calibre and connect that way. This is what it looks like in a browser, so let's connect the Kindle. On the Kindle, inside KOReader, I can go to the search menu and select OPDS catalog and set up the details of my server, and then connect. I did this off camera, but once I select my catalog, you can see I have a whole list of books I can go through. Select any one of them, and it'll let me download it to the Kindle over the air. And it'll let me choose whichever formats I have available, so either the AZW or epub in this case. So that's all well and good, but it doesn't look very great. So I'm going to just change a few settings and put on some finishing touches, and now you can see I've got this nice cover-focused grid for browsing the books I've transferred, and now when I put it to sleep, it actually shows the book cover just like I'm used to, whereas normally it would just say sleeping right over the top of the page. All right, with that all done, I'm going to go read some books. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next one.